Well, I can't believe this day is here. This is a surprising, smart, great thing that's happening with the Republicans. So what is up, guys? It is me, Real American Politics, back here with a new video. And today, this is just some of the most intriguing, just big surprises coming out of the GOP. Yes, this comes from the GOP. Some actually good Republicans. And that the fact they're pushing this stuff in this memo and a couple other things is massive, massive, massive. Now again, I know it's April Fool's Day, there's no tricks, this is actually a real thing. So before we begin, I hope you guys do enjoy this video. If you guys do, smash a like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yes. So this is a memo created by Jim Banks. This is a working class memo. The idea with this memo is essentially, we are the party of Trump, actually. We're not the party of the 1% of Adam kissing asses, essentially. And, well, essentially what this memo does is show the fact that Republicans need to become the party of the working class, of blue-collar America, not just of white suburban women, instead of old races, blue-collar races. And I mean, they show already. You just look at this graph right here, right? This is a famous graph that came out of, I believe, the data poll. I don't know which poll it came from. But you notice the trends of blue collar for all races. I mean, 2010, white blue collar jumped from 45% to 57% for the Republicans. That's a 12% swing in just 10 years. But the biggest one, which is a good sign for the future of Republicans, is Hispanics. It went from 23% in 2010 to 36% in 2020. Black America, about 5% to 12% for blue-collar jobs. This is big. So essentially, if Republicans keep up this trend and do a couple of things they want to do in this memo, they're going to be unstoppable in the future. So there's a couple of interesting pieces they put in this memo. Now, they've originally talked about how we need to become the party of blue-collar America, of Main Street, not Wall Street. And how the Wall Street went from donating heavily to Mitt Romney to basically only donating to Joe Biden. And they go on about this. And he wants to make this party, Jim Banks, who's really good on a lot of issues, the party of the working class. This is massive. And you just look at the three pieces right here. Hug the agenda that differentiated President Trump in 2016 and supplemented with new relevant ideas. That's a good sign. They actually want to embrace Trump. Highlight the cultural and economic elitism that animates the Democrat Party. This is alone huge. Talk about cultural issues. Finally, you're doing this. You're going to save a couple states that, needs a little bit of saving. GOP members must bring this message home to their constituents through tangible action items. This is huge. They need outreach. All right? Why do you think that a lot of these Republican candidates that win surprising elections like Mike Garcia won? They won because they had phenomenal outreach. They actually had a ground game, and it worked. And here's some of the issues that they actually pushed. Jim Banks. The first one's immigration. Now, when I saw immigration, I was like, oh boy, it's going to be reduced illegal immigration, but that's it. Not going to say anything else. But surprisingly, opposition to illegal immigration and increased legal immigration. This is a big surprise for me. That they are saying no to increasing legal immigration, but also decreasing illegal immigration. The fact that they're showing this is massive. This is showing that a lot of Republicans in the House and the nationwide are changing to become a Trumpian party. This is huge. Republicans must oppose amnesty, support border policies like the wall, remain in Mexico. This is good, and they want to push this stuff. They're going to try to make immigration the #1 issue in 2016 or 2022. That alone is going to shift the nationwide essentially by 5 points. Because people are pissed at Biden with immigration. And second is trade. This is massive. 75% of Republicans rank protecting jobs of American workers as their top foreign policy priority. And you keep looking at this. They want to go after China for trade. They want to have fair trade with nations like China, Japan, Korea, etc., but still support some kind of free trade with Western Europe. And I support, to an extent, free trade with nations like Britain, France, because they essentially have the same standards of production value. And really, you can't put tariffs on nations like Britain because it would hurt the economy. That's one of the times that tariffs do hurt. But have fair trade with Mexico, China, etc. Anti-wokeness. They want to go after the college professors. And this is, oh, I was shocked by this. When I thought they said anti-wokeness, I thought they were going to be saying some random stuff about socialism. But instead, they want to go after wokeness. I mean, this is insane. And you just look at this. Their wokeness and identity politics aren't pro-Hispanic, pro-African American, or pro-LGBT. They're anti-American, anti-woman, and most of all anti-working class. The fact that they're saying this is huge. They gotta do something about this. This is a massive issue. But the second paragraph they put here took me off guard. President Trump won a higher share of the Hispanic vote in 2016 than Mitt Romney in 2012, contrary to past conventional wisdom. Support for tighter immigration restrictions and support from Hispanic voters are compatible. This is huge! Republicans are finally admitting you need to be strict on immigration to win the Hispanic vote. I mean, the only reason Hispanics did not swing as much as they did in 2016 as they should have was mostly because people were kind of like skeptical on Trump on a lot of social issues. There's a lot of Catholics that did not trust Trump on stuff like abortion, marriage, stuff like that. But he turned out to be pretty good on that. A lot of the abortion stuff. He was basically the best president when it comes to abortion, essentially. And Republicans should oppose initiatives like defund the police and the Equality Act because Republicans are unapologetic defenders of working class values. You just look at this, and this is absurd that the Republicans are finally learning this. Main Street versus Wall Street. I was kind of on this one. Essentially, they want to be more Main Street instead of pro-Wall Street. They want to get rid of the code regulations that kill small businesses. And they want to get rid of all the... They want to become more pro-worker. And yeah, they use Senator Rubio, but he did make a good point about Amazon workers' unions. I support it. I mean, Amazon workers become a union. Sure, support it. That's what Rubio said. I'm not trusting Rubio on that, but the fact they want to become pro-union to an extent, again, that's big. They want to become against big tech. They want to hold them accountable. The fact that they're talking about this is amazing. This is just from one memo from Jim Banks, who is one of the better Republicans in the House. And you keep looking at this. They have action items also, which this is how they want to stay in touch with blue-collar America, with middle America. This is how they want to stay in touch. Because both parties are completely out of touch when it comes to this, the establishment. They want to do this. Hold working-class roundtables. Direct all Republican members to immediately begin holding roundtables or town halls. Great! I want to hear what everybody in America thinks about a certain policy. This is how you win! Why do you think MTG does this every single week, essentially? She holds a town hall in her district. And it's working. She's staying in touch with her constituents. It's perfect. And these conversations will allow members to highlight the specific Republican-backed issues that will improve the lives of working-class Americans. This is good. And serve as a useful gut check and learning opportunity. Yes, you want to learn from people in middle America about like what the issues actually matter. We don't care about socialism. I mean, that's absurd. That's like only works in Florida and to a lesser extent New Mexico. It doesn't work in middle America. I mean, just the socialism thing, don't get me started on that. Create a working families task force. Yes, do this. Create a task force focused only on working families issues. Do this. A lot of people want to expand the child tax credit. Like Mitt Romney supports, surprisingly. I know it's Mitt Romney, but he supports some good family policies. But these idiots in the Republican establishment don't support it because it's libertarianism. I mean, the fact that they want to do this is great. Focus on individual and digital donations. Yes, please do. No more corporate PACs. I mean, I hate them. I absolutely despise them. And they want to focus only on digital and individual donations. That's huge. GOP needs to embrace Made in America agenda. Yes, please do this. This is just phenomenal that this is coming from one guy. And this is picking up steam. Outside of the Bill Cristols of the world, pretty much everybody agrees with this stuff. Yes, let's do this. I mean, this alone would shift so many states hard to the right. But another thing happened yesterday. This is a big one for me, alright? There was another thing that happened in Arkansas, but I think that depends. That deserves its own video on itself. That was based. But essentially, Montana banned sanctuary cities. Yeah, I know they don't have any in there, but the fact that Montana, these guys that don't have sanctuary cities, have the guts to do this. If states like, if Ron DeSantis does it, Greg Abbott does this, Brian Kemp does this, if he somehow does that, Mike DeWine, etc., if they do this, they're going to make a lot of people happy. And you saw what happened to Arkansas. They banned puberty blockers. And the Republicans at a statewide level are red-pilling a lot of people. And you look at the 2024 map. This is what it was in 2020. I mean, if you go against anti-wokeness, alright, you gotta go after the college professors, you gotta get education reform. I mean, that alone, which Arizona, that's just becoming the next Florida. That's just the next battleground state. That alone, I believe, would flip. So would Georgia, if you go after the college professors for 2-4 years. That alone would swing those states back to the Republican column. Arizona, to a lesser extent, I think that's just the next purple state, essentially. But the anti-immigration sentiment will help in places like Nevada, New Mexico. Yes, New Mexico, I said that. That could help in New Mexico. A lot of Hispanics are against mass immigration. I mean, you may say, oh, well, they vote to the Democrats. Well, because they agree with them on economic issues, and that's starting to wane a little bit. If Republicans became more economically populist, like they seemingly want to do, then they're going to win. They want to become more anti-free trade. They're against free trade deals with China. They want to become more fair trade. You could flip states like Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, even Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota, that's a big issue. The issue is just Minneapolis. You got to do something about that. And there's a couple ways to do that. You can, actually worry about the fraud. That would be nice. And just in a nutshell, Republicans could win this election by a landslide. And best of all, they may be able to stop the trends in a place like Colorado and Virginia to a lesser extent. So, again, this is not my prediction at all. This is what would happen if Republicans decided to, went with this memo. And they do what people in Montana are doing, in Arkansas are doing. They could flip a lot of states. Just by doing a couple of issues alone. And again, they can make Colorado closer in the future if they do this. Not make it a Republican state again. I think it's going to become the next safe Democrat state if they don't do anything. Same thing with Virginia. That's pretty much gone. But you get the point that if Republicans embrace Trumpism and do all the stuff they said to do in this memo, they could flip a lot of stuff. Make states like even Illinois closer. You have a lot of suburbanites in Illinois that are just woke. And if you get rid of the college professors that are woke, that alone would probably swing the state by 5 points. So, anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, hit the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yes, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.